The other day, the final design for the Outlaw Forest Den came out. Today, we're going to go over the set and all of its updates. If you like medieval LEGO content, please subscribe. I post a new video every week. Deep in the heart of the forest, beyond the King's Reach, lies the Outlaw Forest Den. An old stone tower standing tall above a hidden cave, a band of robbers have made their secret hideout. The tower, weathered by time, still stands strong, while the dense forest provides perfect cover. That was a little section of lore and inspiration for this set from its designer. So for an overview, let's check out the specs of this build and how it differs from the original design. The final version does have more pieces, minifigures, and stickers. We're now at 2,617 pieces with 10 minifigures and 7 stickers, up from the original 8 minifigures and 4 stickers. I will go more in depth on these later in the video, but for the price point, this actually isn't bad at all. For the scene and the story of the set, we do have a bit of a change up here. Before, it was just the hideout with nobody finding it. Now we can see that we got 2 lion knights stumbling upon the hideout, and let's just say they might be a little scared. I actually do like this change. It shows the story of how the wolf pack came upon the cart and the loot that they got from it. Now for the exterior design, it looks almost identical to the previous version, and that is a huge compliment to the designer BrickHammer. If you didn't catch the original design, go check out my last video on this set and how it differs from this one. Now, I still love the details of this set, and building it into a mountain or cave is just such a great idea for the wolf pack. Since it's meant to be a hideout, it would make sense that it's not just a normal castle to me. Starting at the bottom, we have some great greenery work done by the designer, and it stays true to the original design. On the left, we got a staircase that leads up to a small bridge and gate that resembles one of the vintage wolf pack sets from long ago, and I love to see this. It also kept my favorite part of it too, being the little barricades that I just like so much. The one thing I don't like here is how we don't have that bird eye view picture anymore like before to see if they kept the cobblestone details on the walkway. So as a LEGO fan, I'm going to prepare for the worst here, but maybe the designer will see this video and let us know for certain. In the middle, we still have that awesome portcullis with those great details out front to help the story. We got unloaded cargo on the right, and then some fish with a little pot to cook them in on the left. And I do see the little cobblestone here, so it makes me hopeful that it might be elsewhere as well. On the right side, we got that rock wall with an escape play feature, and still the little housing on top of it. For the main portion, we got the beautiful rock work on the bottom, leading up to that same beautiful tower that remains untouched from the original design, and I'm so happy about that. This tower does a great job mixing that light gray and dark gray bricks with that iconic black and red look of the wolf pack. It gives a nice aged look that a hideout should have. And if you're worried about the stickers on these parts, I'll go over that briefly in a section towards the end for all to hear. Before heading into the interior, let's take a look at the figures and the cart. Now for the figures, we for sure got an upgrade in my opinion. In the previous design, we had 8 figures, and now we have 10. We still have the 8 Wolfpack figures from before, but also 2 Lion Knights. And honestly, I don't mind 2 extra figures. But let's talk about how the Wolfpack figures come with printed or dual molded legs. This is such a huge upgrade, and I love the black and brown dual molded legs. This is a super nice addition, and I really would like some for my Wolfpack faction themselves. Now, the weapons and accessories are almost the same as they were in the original design, plus or minus some hair changes, and then a brick-built mace like we used to build back in the day. Also, I want to point out the rogue-looking character, a little plain, but we'll always accept some daggers as castle fans. Now for the 2 new figures, they aren't anything too great, but you get at least some nice pieces for your Lion Knights if that's your thing. They were mostly added for storytelling, but an extra shield and figures are always nice. Now another huge upgrade to the figure part though is the 2 horses now versus 1. And meanwhile, it still has the cute little bird and squirrel. These help a lot considering a horse is over $5 off Pick-a-Brick. But this pales in comparison to the 2 wolves that were added to this set. Now let's talk about this. These wolves we only saw in the Series 27 Wolfpack Beastmaster, just like where we saw the printed Wolfpack shields. It seems both of these are the same as they were from the Beastmaster figure, which is so great. This means that LEGO is now willing to make exceptions to BrickLink builds to include CMF series parts, or there is possibly a Wolfpack set coming in the future with these parts. Either way, this is something huge for the LEGO Castle community, and let me know which one you think is more likely in the comments. Lastly, the cart is the same as before. It still opens up in the back like before, and it's nice that it has that hint of blue like the vintage Wolfpack sets used to. So far, the exterior and the minifigures are an upgrade, so let's take a look at the interior to round out this build. Now at first glance, I have things I like, and some things I actually don't like as well. Firstly, these pictures are better than the last ones we saw, but a big part of that is the minifigures are displayed with it, so it makes it look like there's a lot more going on. Despite that, take those away and we still have some great upgrades. Starting on the bottom left, we still got the armory room with that secret escape here. It does look like they changed out the helmets here. They swapped the Griffin Knight helmet with a standard black bucket helm. And honestly, I think it fits the Wolfpack more so. Now above this, we have the leader's room, and it's much more clear in this new design. Before, the room looked a little barren, and I couldn't tell if it was a leader's room or just a random room. But now with that new checkered floor and the sheets on the bed, it looks a little fancier. This build still does a really great job in all of the rooms with the lighting though, and I'm very happy that LEGO kept this. This is something that typically lacks on the interior parts of castle builds, and I'm glad that it's not assumed here. Now above this, we have a very small structural difference at the top from the original design. It looks like this might use a little more pieces. I'm not sure if it makes much of a difference. It might have been for stability or something like that. But I will say I do like it because now we have a little rat up here with a cheese piece that actually looks like cheese. Is this new? It honestly shocked me the first time I saw it. Over to the bottom right. Now underneath the bridge looks the same from what I can see here, but I do like this little accessory here that we have. A stick for some chicken legs to feed the wolves is a really cool thing, and I love that they started doing this more in LEGO sets. Extra accessories to help with the display of a build is just such a nice touch. Something else new on this side is by the gate entrance, we can see that there's a spear and a bone. There might be a box or barrel here to hold these, which is a little addition to make it a little less barren than before. Now onto the middle, starting at the bottom. For the close-up, we can see some changes, and I like them. Rather than another Wolfpack flag down here, we can see a wanted poster. There's also another one of those awesome cheese slices. I believe this is a printed piece. I really hope so. And then there's an obvious sticker tile here that I can't exactly make out. Outside of that, the only other change I see is that there's an extra stool here that wasn't here before, but as castle fans, we always take an extra wood tile piece. Now we don't get the full view of the left side like we did before, so I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I do see the carrot, so I assume that it's pretty close to the original design. Going up a level, we see the great mechanism for the portcullis, which is still such a great feature. But here, I just want to point out how great the brick-built portcullis is. I didn't mention this in my last video, but I like it so much. The little spike pieces at the bottom are just great. Now for the room with the mechanism, there still isn't too much going on here, but on the left we see something new. And it makes me wonder if LEGO saw my first video and the parts that I said were boring, because it really seems that each little part that had something boring in there is now a little spiced up. So on the left side over here, I see a feather on the wall and a tile here for something. We can't see it, but maybe it's a map or paper or something of the sort. For the inside of the main tower, we got a few additions here as well. On the bottom right, we got some gold ingots that weren't here before, and all around that, we got those log plates for added details and a light source. Now, based off of what the designer has shown us, this light source might have been there before, but you might not have been able to see it in the previous pictures. I feel though that these little additions really filled that negative space back here. And of course, I still love how this build gives us those ladders to go up rather than assuming a figure can just fly up there. Now, for the very tippy top of the tower, there is one thing that I don't like here. I see one of the masonry bricks from the previous design was taken away, and it rubs me a little bit the wrong way. Now, LEGO has been known to do this for a lot of the BrickLink builds, but at least in the case of this build, in its stead, they gave us a bird's nest up here. So although we got skimped on one masonry brick piece, we did get the bird's nest, so I think it makes up for it. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for it, let's talk stickers. Now, where are these 7 stickers? Now, luckily, I got this information from the primary source, BrickHammer himself. He confirmed that all of the shields are printed, meaning that they're the same printed ones that we saw from the Beastmaster figure, which is massive. So then where are the stickers? Well, the big Wolfpack banner has one on each side, giving that 2. The small Wolfpack banner has another 2 stickers. There's a map of the kingdom, a deck of playing cards, and a Wolfpack wanted poster, giving us all 7. This means that the cheese pieces are printed as well, and that my theory of that tile by the portcullis mechanism is indeed a sticker of the kingdom. All in all, I think this is still one of the better BrickLink sets to come out. I know personally that I've wanted a home for my Wolfpack faction, and this is honestly a great option. Now, I did guess the price point exactly right on my last video, so it coming with around 200 more pieces and many more animals and 2 extra figures is a huge bonus. Now, out of this series, I do think this will be the first one to sell out, so be sure to have a BrickLink and LEGO account in advance and be ready to pre-order it right as it drops on October 6th at 8 AM Pacific time. This one will for sure sell out. As for the time frame, I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully not too fast so we can all get one. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end. Now, this isn't the 1,000 subscriber special, but I wanted to get this out for you guys ASAP. If you haven't seen yet, I do have channel memberships activated now, so if you're interested in some perks, go and check it out. Thank you all again for 1,000 subscribers, and let's see if we can hit 2K before the end of the year.